All right, hi everyone, it's me again, it's Peridot, and I'm coming to you live 1 year after starting my Microlocs, or a little bit more than a year. So, we're gonna get into the pros and cons of having Microlocs. I'm gonna start with the cons. If it's okay, let's start with the negative and finish off with the positive, okay? So, first con is the length of the hair, okay? After a year, I would have anticipated more length. I didn't get that. It's fine. What happens is basically when you first lock up, it's really long because it's fresh. But as it is tangling and locking, it kind of shrinks actually. So I think my hair is shorter than when I started. You know what I mean? By actual length. I mean, I could stretch it a little bit, but yeah, this light is so bright. We have the awkward phase of just having that short hair. It's just a little weird. It's not weird anymore because I'm at that perfect length, but there was a time when I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Okay, con number 2 are the reties. Reties are probably the biggest con with Microlocs. This is going to be what is the make it or break it of Microlocs for you because it takes so much time and effort to retie. You should be retying every 6 weeks thereabout, and it can take hours if you're doing it yourself. It takes me like 18 hours to retie my hair. It is ridiculous. It takes me days. Like, it's a lot. And retying itself is not easy. It's just there's a lot of things that can happen. You can end up retying 2 locks together and just your shoulders hurt, and it's just like not it. But also you can pay to get your hair retied, and if you do that, then it just costs a ton of money. Just imagine every 6 weeks you're paying like $150 for the low. Technically, this hairstyle is meant to save money, right? Like, so reties, biggest con, biggest thing to think about. If you have any questions having to do with reties, comment below and I'll respond to them. I can talk about retying all day. Okay, the next thing is thinning locks. Sometimes you might end up pulling a lock too much, different things happen, you're sleeping, whatever, and you end up thinning a lock. And I think I have one. I think it's this one. Hold on. It's this one right here. If you look, I don't know if you can see, but right here, it's very thin at the root and thicker right here. This could be because of pulling or because my hair is actually thinning right there because that is along the hairline. So I don't know. But yeah, it's not cool because they break off and then it just feels like you've invested so much time and effort into that lock and then it just breaks off. Unlike traditional locks, you rarely find a lock breaking off within the first year. Like, it just takes years to lose a lock with the traditionals. Okay, yes, so marrying locks. Okay, this is another con. Marrying locks is a thing that happens when you wait too long to retie the hair, okay? I personally am going to be honest with you. I do not retie my hair every 6 weeks. There's no way, shape, or form I can do that with a full-time job, kids, all of that, and do it myself. I'm not doing it, right? So I kind of found a workaround. The workaround really is that I retwist most times. So like every 6 weeks, I'll retwist my hair like you would do traditional locks. So I'd use coconut oil and just retwist, okay? And basically plait it or braid it, right? And then leave it for like 2 days and then unbraid it. And then those twists stay in. So the last time I twisted my hair must have been maybe 6 weeks ago. And this is how it looks at the root. So it's not too bad. Okay? It's not too bad. Let's see if it works. But I think that if this method works, what I'm going to be doing is twisting for most of the year, and then maybe once a year do a full retie. That's going to be the method, and I'll let you know how that goes. If you want to know how my methods go, make sure you subscribe because I want to keep you posted and let you know what you can do and what you can't do, what's a good idea and what's a bad idea before you make any mistakes, okay? All right, hard to keep parts. That's another con too, especially with my method. If you're going to a loctician every 6 weeks, I'm sure your parts will look impeccable. If you're doing this yourself though, it's just so hard to keep the parts. Even when you retie consistently, just the messing up, the grabbing of the little strands because you don't have a mirror all day just looking at every single retie that you're doing, especially if you have like 600, 700 locks. Like, can you imagine you just have a mirror for every retie? You're just checking to see if your parts are perfect. Now, is my parts good or great? No, my parts are not the best. I don't even know what it looks like under there, but let me just actually get to this other con that this connects to. So this connects to the other con, which is sensitive roots. And why do parts connect with sensitive roots? Okay, so basically I have not been able to style my hair really because it is very sensitive to pull this hair in any direction, and like, yeah, it just can't work. So if you look at it, right, you basically have these locks right here. Okay, look at this. When you pull that, it hurts. Versus if your hair was just in strands, it's like you can pull it better and it doesn't hurt as bad. I don't know why physically that's a thing. I think when you pull the hair, sometimes you're tugging on one microlock more than the next. And that one that is like tugged too tight just is excruciating. So for that reason, I don't think parts are that important to me. I think that for the most part, I'll be wearing my hair in like a big kind of fro with the bangs, or even if I do it long, like it's just gonna be down or up into like a messy, quick bun. Even if I wanna look cute, I might do like a big wraparound braid, things like that, where like I just think the parts just aren't that important. So me losing my parts is not a big deal, but for some people, losing their parts would be insane. Here's another con, and this is not a con for everybody. So for me, I am losing this bouncy, curly pattern that I had at the edge of my lock. So if you look at this, you can see it's still kind of there, right, where the hair before it locks is like curly, and it almost looks like you can just comb it out. You know what I'm saying? I like that. And that gave my hair a lot of body, and it just looked like twists more than locks. Now it's transitioning to, and the back is doing it the most. Let me show you. And the back is usually the first to lock. If I have anything back here, just never mind. I can't see the back of my hair, but if you look, let's see if I can get it. If you look, it's like more locked at the edges there. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but it's more locked at the edges. So what's going to happen is all of the hair is going to do that, right? So all of it is going to become more stream or straw-like, as opposed to that comb out look, like as if you could just comb it out kind of look, the unlocked look. So in a way, I kind of wanted the unlocked look with the locks, but I understand that that's impossible. That's not how locks work. And I still think they're absolutely gorgeous, even if they're locked from root to tip. I think they're still gorgeous. Let's talk about the pros. One of the pros is definitely that I can just shape the hair. Right now, it's very heavy, and one of the cons was that the hair changes from bouncy to locked. That was a con, but in a way that's a pro, because when the hair turns into locks, it's heavier. So now it's easier to shape. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and my hair is all over the place, and I can just like do this and then it just falls right into place for me, and I like that. So the weight is just nice. The next pro is that your hair, after a year, your hair is now noticeably beautiful. And what I mean by noticeably is that you're drawing in compliments. It's compliments galore. People aren't used to seeing this type of hair. And so they're going to talk about it. They're going to say, okay, your hair is beautiful. You're going to get that a lot. A quick thing I want to insert in here is, I don't know if you can see, there's color in my hair. And I basically had my hair colored before I locked. So if your hair is loose and natural right now and you think you might want color, some sort of like ombre effect, try to dye your hair first and then lock. It might take longer to lock. People say different things, but I think that if you have like 4C, your hair is locking regardless. Like it's locking, but you know, I know different hair textures have different barriers, so I don't know as far as other hair textures other than 4C. But for me, I dyed my hair first and then I locked it, and it gave me some nice little brown tips. Not that much, but something light. Like I said, hairstyling is not a problem. You're just shaking that bad boy into the right position, and that's it. So in a way, and I want to say this with an asterisk, I want to make sure you guys know that, yeah, I don't know. Let me just say it and then explain it. In a way, this hairstyle is low maintenance, okay? In a way, and it's like this. It's like you go through this long period of not doing anything to your hair, pretty much. Just get to chill and like love your hair. And then there's like a day or two if you get your hair professionally done, or a week or two if you do your hair yourself, where you have to struggle with the retie process and it just becomes high maintenance. So if you look at the Microlocs chart, right, it's gonna go like this, like low maintenance, boom, high maintenance for a short time, and then low maintenance, and then boom, you know what I mean? It's just like a spike of hard work, but it's for a short time. For me, it's super chill because retwisting is like you could do this all day. Just bam, put the bam clip, bam, like how just I could do that all day. So for me, it's low maintenance all around, except for maybe that one time a year that I'm planning to retie. And like I said, I'll tell you how that goes. I ChatGPT'd this idea, and ChatGPT was like, no, don't do this. It's not gonna work for your hair. So I don't know, but I've seen ChatGPT be wrong. So I'll let you know how that goes. Biggest pro of Microlocs. Oh God. Biggest pro is that your hair just keeps growing, and it will never stop growing as long as you are not cutting it. It's gonna get longer, and for me, that is just the best part, and it's worth all of the struggle, all of the retying, everything is worth it because my hair doesn't grow long naturally. So, well, I guess this is natural, I should say. My hair doesn't grow long in its loose form. There's just something in my gut feeling that tells me that this is how I should be wearing my hair, and this is how, for any of the 4C ladies, this is how to get long hair if you can't get long hair. And I've seen this, I was watching a video, was it in Mali, where they were like using mud and essentially had Microlocs and different forms of locks, and it was just so beautiful and long. And yeah, I just think maybe this is our way of accessing that kind of super long hair. Maybe that's what's meant for us, because I've even heard that combing the hair is, the loose hair is harsh on the hair. So it just tells me what? Like, well, maybe we're just supposed to be wearing our hair like this, like washing it, right? Shaking it up and let it do its micro thing, because the hair will go, if you wash your hair and just shake your hair, it actually does spin into like little micro coils. And if you just left it, it would be Microlocs. The long hair, the long, big mane. Oh, I can't wait. And I know that locks are weird. So locks take forever to grow, right? But once you hit like 2 years, it just shoots. And it's a lot of it has to do with the weight of the hair, just pulling it down, and I don't know, it just gets long really fast. So be patient with it and just let that thing grow. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll respond. Be sure to subscribe for more. Talk to you later.